Hello, Astro friends. This is Melanie, and I'm fully back, fully recovered from the really quick snap cold, almost mirrored by the cold snap that we're having currently here on the West Coast. So it was just a 3-day thing, and happy to report. Recovery went really fast. Seems like my system wanted to get rid of something, whatever it was, really quick by sneeze attacks, some sniffles, and then it rolled out after 2 or 3 days. So I was happily attending the Chinese New Year yesterday, Chinese New Year celebrations, downtown Victoria, oldest Chinatown in Canada. That was great. It was also cold and nippy, as I say, but so worth being out. Lots of people, lots of celebration. Leo is on via Lilith, and people loved being just in the street again, and all that playful energy with the lions, a lion dance, a dragon dance, and so many cute kids out there, rabbit costumes, all of this. So that was wonderful. And yeah, Chinese New Year has started on the 22nd of January, also called the Lunar New Year in other cultures of Asia besides China. And I hear there's also, instead of the rabbit, so rabbit also morphed into a cat and celebrating the year of the cat. But for, like, I would say 90%, 95% of people celebrating the Lunar New Year. It's the Chinese New Year of the rabbit, and it's the Yin Water Rabbit. Water, also called black rabbit. Water is associated with the color black. All the 5 elements are associated with 5 different colors. Next year, we're moving to the green, aka wood dragon. Dragon being the luckiest animal of the whole zodiac, yet also the rabbit is considered very lucky in terms of abundance, a bunny dance, I call it, and propitious, rather gentle at the same time. I read a really interesting definition or attribution to a rabbit in combination with, or as opposed to, I should say, tiger. Both tiger and rabbit expand their territory. Head tiger tends to do it quite aggressively. It's the yang tiger versus the yin rabbit. The rabbit does it more creatively and procreatively, expanding the territory. So, and rabbit is also known to be more interested in peace than in war, right? Not a predator, but yeah, magical being. So may this year become more peaceful, more happy, more abundant in only good ways. Now, what else is going on for the week? The week starting tomorrow and going until tomorrow, the 31st of January, going till the 6th of February. The 5th will be the full moon. And we have now reached mid-Aquarius, the central 10 degrees of Aquarius, which started today, the 30th, and goes to also the I have to look it up again. Let me quickly look, because I've really just created these posts, these Facebook posts for the decanates, right? So 10-degree segments of each sign. Now we're going from January 30th till February 8th. Yeah, that's it. And having central Aquarius. In the center of it is Imbolc. And Imbolc is a festival of midwinter, also in the Celtic world, dedicated to Saint Brigid, who is a goddess of the hearth fire, bringing in the fire. The warmth of the sun is slowly coming up from the earth, and or being met by the sun, and we're having the first signs of spring with snowdrops, and here on the west coast even more fresh buds coming out. What a delight. So yes, Imbolc celebrations are still happening in communities that honor the seasons in this way. Imbolc is celebrated on February 2nd to and can be also celebrated on February 1st already. And that's pretty much central Aquarius. As I said, we'll have this year also the full moon, the Leo Aquarius full moon, close to Imbolc on February 5th. And I can show you the chart. So here is the chart of the full moon. And as you see, Sun in Aquarius and Moon in Leo, yet there's more to it. The Moon is also close to Lilith. And the Sun is also kind of close to Saturn. While also we have a T-square. It's not just a full moon. There's also pretty much exactly between Sun and Moon is Uranus in Taurus, not far from the North Node. So the South Node would be here in Scorpio, but it's not quite, let me just see what you see my picture, but it's not quite a T-square. So that's good, but less of a pressure. It's already enough. So what is this all about? All the fixed energies of Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus are here in tension with each other. And the Uranus piece wants to be the outlet. I should say also the full moon is on February 5th at 10:29 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And quick sip of water. So that full moon has quite the energy of the polarity of between the self, Leo, and the collective, Aquarius, community, humanity, but also kind of the collective energy leaning over here via Saturn into the bridging into Pisces. So how can these two worlds in a way be met and be embrace each other, right? So if it's too much of collectivism, or it's all about humanity, it's all about all of us, where's the individual? And where's the individual with his or her sovereignty, which is Leo, and especially via Lilith in Leo. Lilith calls us to be in our natural, unconditioned, unmodified self, and that is for Leo being a being of love and being naturally sovereign, being naturally the king or queen in your life. That doesn't mean you're a narcissist. That's sort of it's a low vibrational or distorted expression of Leo. But how can you be a creative being in your own right versus being subject to what all of us have to do or should do, which Saturn in Aquarius tells us about. But if the Leo side goes overboard, we can be, humanity can be at the mercy of some narcissistic and dominating emperors or empresses who thinks the world turns all just around them and their needs, especially their territorial needs when it comes to Taurus, right? And I see also a connection between the moon in Leo with the Pluto in Leo generation, which happened for everybody born between 1939. It already started, right? Pluto entered Leo right before the Second World War started. That was early September 1939, and Pluto entered Leo in August 1939. So the Pluto in Leo generation came to a close in 1957. So 18 years Pluto was in Leo. And Pluto is very strong in Leo. It's exalted in Leo. In other words, it's also a lot about coming into your own power, into your own natural, strong self that is expressive, creative, and so even one's inner God given power, so to say, in a good way, right? As sovereign beings. Now, Pluto will go into Aquarius. And a little bit about that in a second. But first, this Leo moon also affects everybody who was born with Pluto in Leo. It also affects everybody with personal planets in Leo. But it affects a whole generation that is now in power. So think about it. Those who call the shots, like quite literally speaking, are born with Pluto in Leo. Most of them. There's some also younger ones involved. And so that is also the power that can be very destructive. And for me, I would say less is more when it comes to war. So, where are we going? Are we being insane here? Is humanity going on a destructive downward spiral because of some national and territorial interests, or even more so, military and industrial interests going completely overboard? So, something's got to give here. And this Leo Aquarius full moon in square with Uranus is actually, in a way, also the energy of playing with fire. And Uranus is an energy that can be very liberating, but can be also traumatic and explosive. So we want to watch not to give more energy to this whole division and whole polarization that we're having so strongly on now. Also with Mars in Gemini, it starts with words and it can turn into war, which is already happening. What's with the T-square positive expression? I should also say from the Aquarius side, right? So at whose expense does this all go? It goes at the expense of humanity. Hello. And humanity is the other people who are suffering either way of a continuation of this madness. And what can be done? Uranus in Taurus is not so well placed, right? So Uranus is disruptive energy, and it's an energy that can be actually quite traumatic, and we've seen lots of that already in the last few years when it comes to the earth herself, when it comes to economy, when it comes to business, when it comes to money, when it comes to values, when it comes to food, right? All of that is ruled by Taurus. So we're already seeing lots of inconsistency, lots of upset energies, and how can Uranus be expressed in a different way in Taurus? Uranus in Taurus is about embodying freedom, expressing yourself, and in a way that your body is also in agreement with, freeing yourself from something that you don't value. Maybe even my little cold was an expression of that. My body was literally getting rid of this really fast, right? So, how can you contribute to a better overall vibration? And that will be also something that comes up with Saturn in Pisces from March 7th on. What is our part in the energy that is, connecting us all, connecting all life forms in the web of life? How do we are co-responsible for that. How can we do our part to actually raise the vibration individually and also in group energies, so in group, collective, intentional um, gatherings and meetings. So, and then also we can contribute to paradigm shifts. That would be also Uranus, to more awakening, to more awakened consciousness in those who are leading and running the show at this point, and in the people who are part of this. So in groups, in organizations, right? All Aquarian systems, all Aquarius and Uranus. We need really people to break free and to not go there anymore, not contribute to madness. That's my take on it all. You may have a different opinion, and I acknowledge you in that. Yet also we have the Mars in Gemini piece, says express verbally and in written words what you're passionate about. And we have also Aries energy, which comes in even stronger as the nodes shift into Aries, Libra, the south node. Now that's going to happen in July, but you already feel the build-up or countdown for that. So, so much Libra energy is still invested in, okay, not wanting to rock the boat, being nice, being friendly, and not wanting to offend anybody, and also making choices dependent on what other people think and whether they like you. And Aries would say rather be authentic than fake, than a pleaser, right? So more Aries coming in also via Jupiter and Chiron together in Aries on March the 11th. They line up. I marked it here on the chart. And so that's slowly building, but surely. And that would be also an energy of stepping into the medicine, anything that is healing, and it is a good teaching about authenticity and about alertness is Aries, right? Being alert to what's going on and doing something about it rather than just sitting and waiting. So, and being authentic, showing up in a timely manner. Then we have a few alignments coming up. I will talk about those in the next week or two. And I marked them all in the chart. So Mercury will go into Aquarius, out of Capricorn on February 11th until March 2nd. But before that, on February 10th, so a week after this coming one, the last hurrah of Mercury in Capricorn, which has been there forever, since some point early December or so, is Mercury finally meeting Pluto, still end of Capricorn, just a day before Mercury leaves Capricorn. So on February 10th, Mercury meets Pluto, and February 11th, it goes into Aquarius. So there can be lots of issues around power, the power to transform and or the power to destroy are on people's minds and in our discussion, and responsible use of power with Pluto in Capricorn. And so lots of that to reflect upon and act upon. Now that full moon, has Lilith, the moon has Lilith attached, the sun has Saturn attached, and we need to find a balance between, as I said, the individual and the collective, but also love and freedom. All right, so love as in Leo, being a loving being who expresses love, who radiates joy, who is creative, and with Aquarius also being part of humanity, contributing and distributing your creative energy, and Uranus in Taurus. So in a liberated way, in an awake way. And I always encourage you and the clients and myself to lift these energies in a better vibration, in a higher vibration, in a freer vibration than what the default would be. But also good to be aware where we're at and where the default gravitation could go. So I hope that's been helpful. What else is going on this week? Oh yeah, the exact alignment of the Sun in Aquarius in square with Uranus in Taurus, which Uranus ruling Aquarius, right? That exact alignment is just before the full moon. It's on February 3rd. So again, themes around really embodying our values and being in freedom, and being in freedom in community, humanity, be very important. And lots of tension around that is coming up. Then, there's no planets retrograde currently. That happened technically since Uranus went out of retro, which was the 22nd of January, day after the new moon in Aquarius. And we're having a retro-free phase now going on until April 21st, when Mercury will go retro again. And so it's full speed ahead for manifestation, which can mean many things, right? So what is it that you would like to get energy for, and not keep backtracking and this and that and I hadn't considered, but actually setting in motion? And that can happen in many ways. As I said, let's use it again for the highest purpose. Then lastly, the waxing moon, now building up to the full moon, is currently in Gemini, also with Mars. That's why maybe my talk is a little bit more vehement, as I say, and energized and passionate about certain things. Waxing moon in Gemini now until Wednesday, I believe. Double check. And then it goes into Cancer, and then she goes into Cancer. So until Wednesday, Wednesday afternoon, so pretty much noon. The moon goes first of February. The moon goes into Cancer from Wednesday noon until just after midnight on Saturday. And then in Leo, where she will be full on Sunday. And eventually, the end of our astrology week, on Monday, just early afternoon, the moon will be going into Virgo for 2.5 days. So what's with that? Waxing moon phase is always like a building of energy, a building of life force and emotional buildup as well. So it's now in Gemini. It starts with the mind, and then funnels into feelings and into needs. And really very important with a waxing moon in Cancer in her own abode, as I said, from Wednesday noon until Saturday so the whole Wednesday afternoon till whole Thursday and whole Friday until midnight. So that would be a really important phase to take care of our needs, be gentle to ourselves, not overextend ourselves, and maybe taking care of some domestic needs as well, family time and all this. And then she goes into Leo, where the full moon will be on the 5th of February. so close to Imbolc at 10:29 a.m. in the morning. And so Leo full moon brings out in her fullness the self and being the star. But we are all stars, as this beautiful quote goes. We are all stars in the constellation of love. So if we really took that to heart, heart literally also rules Leo. The world would be a better place, right? If you're all special and beings of love, and yet only together we can create this constellation, right? That is bigger than each individual. This whole system of humanity. Then the moon will go into Virgo, and when the moon goes from Leo to Virgo, that's always a special moment too. That's around noon, early afternoon next Monday. That is called the Sphinx point, because the Sphinx is an oracle that reminds us of self-awareness. So being aware of who we truly are, and self-awareness can be very practical in terms of who am I? Am I loving myself? And if I really love myself, what really works for me then, right? What am I doing that supports my self-love and comes from self-love? And working with what we really love rather than what we sort of should do and have other motives for, right, rather than love. And then it's even a deeper self-awareness. So on a soul level, on a spiritual level, who are you truly? Who is the one that asks that question? And going much deeper into awareness of the soul self, so to say, and the authentic, the unconditioned self, the self that's there in absence of all, in presence and in absence of all the attributes we give ourselves and all the stuff we surround ourselves with, right? So potent, definitely a potent full moon coming up. And I would write a newsletter for her, and will involve the Sabian symbol. I haven't looked yet what the symbol of the Sabian oracle says for the degree of the full moon, which will be at 16 degrees 40 minutes of Leo. And naturally it affects all of you, as I said, with mid-Leo anything. And in the calendar, that would be around the Lion's Gate or early August. So time to be warm-hearted and loving, generate that energy in the middle of winter. Now we really need it. And show us your love, and everybody is a being of love, truly. And so, yeah, give that love to just everybody whom you share the earth with, whether you like them or not. Generating love is always a good contribution. And so I leave it with this, and see you again in community or in a session. Oh yeah, and I have also an offer starting. My yearly February offer is Valentine's month from February 2nd to 22nd to 22. It's for not only couples, but also any relationship with somebody you'd like to explore your dynamics with, the characteristics of the relationship itself. Special offers, 22% off on all relationship sessions. Yeah, let me know if you're interested or have any questions about that. and we can go ahead and book a session, which can be online or in person here in Victoria. And so that's my Valentine's contribution. Zero footprint and maximum value. Wishing you well, and despite all this tension that's currently going on, um, returning to the heart, returning to love, and offer love to humanity. We can all need this. Take care. All the best to you. Till next week. Bye.